live from Southern California, allies, cohorts. Two co-hosts take on today's subjects, here, now, and retro. The Mark and Andre Show. Ladies and gentlemen, here are your hosts, Mark and Andre. Thank you. To this installment of the Mark and Andre Show. Here with me again for another great show is my good friend of mine, Andre Gaynor. Thank you for coming on.
Glad to be back.
Yeah, fantastic. Sorry for the delay, ladies and gentlemen. I know we're going live here. We just had a few technical difficulties. Andre, how are you doing today?
I'm feeling great, man. I'm doing good today.
Good. So we're just going to give you a brief synopsis of what's going to go on this show.
What's going to go down?
We're going to have a really good show. We're going to be talking about Xbox. We're going to be talking about the electric vehicle. We're going to be talking about conspiracy theories. And we're also going to be talking about 80s and 90s action movies.
It's a massive palette of random shit.
And I'm not even going to dabble into those topics, but those are the brief things we're going to cover tonight. This week in news, there's going to be a few subjects I want to take care of. Nancy Reagan passed away this week.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, First Lady Nancy Reagan to that of Ronald Reagan. Nancy, I hope you are enjoying eating jelly beans with Ronald right now. And that wasn't a joke. Ronald Reagan does like eating jelly beans. So it may sound funny, but it's not.
It's all dead serious.
I know. Eat those jelly beans, Nancy. Okay, so Xbox One. There's been a report saying that Xbox players are requesting compensation for network downtime. Executives of the board are saying that they may compensate. Now, Andre, do you side with the gamers on this situation, or do you side with the executive board? One coin's going to say we should be compensated for the service that we don't use, or the board, which is going to say this is all, it's all part of the service that we provide. Sometimes it happens.
Well, I'm coming from the gamers side, in a sense. I kind of share this opinion that, and there's a number of people that kind of side with me. I don't believe that a person should be paying for their online experience with Xbox. So when I used to have an Xbox 360, I'm pretty sure you're regarding Xbox 360 and Xbox One. Yeah. Because you just said it.
This was for the one particular, but you can still use your example.
That overall experience. Okay, so paying for my internet service, which was exactly the same as PS3's service, that wasn't being paid for, upset me.
I still don't pay for my PS3 service.
He gets to use his online service as much as he wants to without paying an extra dime. I mean, there's that plus. There's a plus option, and you pay a little bit more, but really you don't need to pay more. You still get to have the online experience. You get to play with other people and interact, and that's kind of what's driving games today. That's what modern gaming is all about, is interactivity as fast as possible. And it drives me crazy that a service that's free for one company that is exactly the same as another company has to be paid for. I don't get that. So I think that in regards to the gamers that aren't, that their service did indeed go down, they're paying a price for this. So I feel like this is premium. I mean, with PS3, remember, PS3 lost their internet service for a number of months because some dudes hacked it and they had to shut everything down. But no one got too pissed about it because they didn't have to pay anything and they didn't lose any money.
Exactly.
And it was fine. But in this case, I mean, gamers aren't being able to play with their friends because the internet keeps shutting down, or at least the Xbox One server is shutting down. And that's something that they're paying out of their pocket for monthly. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be pissed if they try to, watch Netflix and then the Netflix server goes down constantly because that's something they're paying for. But if it was free, they wouldn't have a problem about it. You know what I mean? So I do believe the gamers should be compensated. They have to be, because I don't know what the policy is for Xbox, and I mean, whatever it is, I'm sure they need to compromise because these executives need to keep their customers happy. Yeah. But I mean, how do you feel about it?
The service legalese is going to say something about, there's going to be downtime and we're not going to be held responsible for it being down. I mean, it's just a matter of technology is sometimes liable for errors. And it's really not going to be our fault specifically. We don't have a switch for the servers and we don't, turn them from on to off. In a sense, it's not that. So, at the end of the day, I don't.
You think it's something that they overlooked in the licensing agreement or something? Or
I think the
licensing agreement that nobody reads.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not telling you.
I just click agree. I never read anything. I see. Oh, there's a lot of words.
When we sign for things, sign here, here, and here. I'm like, if I just sign this, I don't have to do this ever again, right? Yeah. So hopefully there's something that legalese that's going to either help the gamers. But if there isn't, it's more than likely,
that's a crazy payout.
Class action. They're class action for sure.
Like they're going to finance and pay everybody back, or are they going to do something like, free Xbox Live for like 5 months for everyone?
That should, and it's.
But that's a big L too. They're losing money either way.
Yeah. Well, they're losing money off the jump. They're going to be losing money at that point. But how long have they been profiting off Xbox Live subscriptions?
True.
But that settles that. Xbox has some issues going on. This is merely the first bread on the shit sandwich that Xbox is going to eat. So they'll find a solution at the end. But it was a funny story. When I used to work at this mobile phone place that I used to work at, there was this guy that comes in and I have to help him. It's one of the customers. This guy shows me like a stack of bills, I swear, about 5 inches thick, about how long he's been a customer with the phone company, with the mobile phone company that I was with. He's all like, you've been sending me these bills to this P.O. box, and you've been taxing me the Riverside County tax, which is 5 cents. You've been charging me 5 cents for 5 years, and I don't live in Riverside. And I'm all like, okay, yeah, so what do you want? No, I want to get compensated. 5 years of 5 cents. Yeah. And I'm all like, dude, you know how much money you're only going to get a few bucks out of this whole time for you getting charged 5 cents a month. And so I basically booted him the hell out of there. I was just all like...
It was obviously premeditated. He had every bill stacked and ready to go.
This guy was tripping. He wasted so much gas for 5 cents to go in there to complain. Dude, when people get retroactive payments, they don't think about like, whoa, that's 5 cents just 1 month. I'm going to get 12 times 5.
They just think they're going to come up.
$5 for that guy for 5 years. 5 and some change. Okay, so here's a little tidbit for you guys in the San Bernardino area, San Bernardino, California. If you text 911 the word help, your geolocation will be pinpointed, and there's going to be 911 emergency services rushed to your way. I don't know how long this is going to last, because this is pretty much... I'm thinking about it at a prankster standpoint, right. And I could just imagine some guy like going on someone else's phone and just texting 911 help.
But I don't know how that sounds. That sounds convenient, but I don't know that they're simplifying everything. It's the same as like sending a pizza emoji to Pizza Hut. You just send help to 911 and they just show up. They don't care what the purpose is. They just show up.
San Bernardino PD, what's the emergency? Hey, my remote is in the living room. I can't reach it. You think you can help?
You guys got this?
Yeah, can you help me? Oh, man. You can just imagine the SWAT team goes in there and then some guy's all like, yeah, hey, man, my Hot Pocket's ready. I didn't want to take it out of the oven. You think you could help me out? Like, or give me a ride.
Some dude, hey, can you give me a ride?
Give me a ride somewhere.
Can you give me a ride to Burlington's Coat Factory real quick?
Oh man.
No, but I understand why only San Bernardino, because it's San Bernardino.
I think that's the testing region.
That's the testing region.
It might be, but you have to think about it. Every county is going to be different. They work differently. The 911 emergency services is usually designated per different areas.
Okay, so
either that or is it central location, because they'll dispatch you to other police. Like if you call it, you have to let them know like what area you in, and then they'll dispatch you to that place.
Okay, I assumed that it was an abundance of calls in San Bernardino because there's so much crime happening that they were like, we just need a quicker way to get to
one guy on the phone. Lines are all booked.
Every call.
911, please hold. 911, please hold. So
help. Sorry. That's just not to like. I get it. I mean, it's very useful, but it's just I don't know how that's going to be effective.
I'm going to give it. I'm going to give it a couple of years. Like help is so general.
Help.
Like math. Tutoring help. There's tons of help.
Emotional help?
I know. Oh my gosh, emotional help. Yo, help me out.
I need help finishing my song. Me and my band are stuck. We don't know what to do.
We need a song title. Okay, so I don't know if you were on the internet all day today or not, but there's been ramblings about saying that Beetlejuice 2 was going to be confirmed.
There were murmurs.
Yes, there was murmurs. There was rumors undulating in the waves of the internet saying that Beetlejuice 2 was confirmed, but they talked to Tim Burton's rep as of I think it was like 6:00 today. Mm-hmm. They're saying it's false and it's not even true. So this is just a wild rumor that just spread for validity, mm-hmm. and now it's not even true.
Well, I think the quote verbatim was, "What the fuck are you talking about? What?"
Beetlejuice. I made that 27 years ago. Slams the door. That's what it was. I think they mistook the sarcasm. Beetlejuice 2? Sure, I'll do it.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm working on it right now. Fucking Beetlejuice 2.
Print it. Print the article. Extra, read all about it.
What are they going to do? It's not going to work, especially nowadays.
27 years ago.
I don't think that's the market for another Beetlejuice isn't here.
$73 million in the box office that year it came out. It was 10th in 1988, and it trailed in order. It goes in order from first to 10th, which was Beetlejuice. It goes Rain Man, which won the Oscar for I think it won an Oscar either for Best Supporting Actor or Best Picture. Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Coming to America, Big, Twins, Crocodile Dundee 2, Die Hard, The Naked Gun, and then Cocktail.
God.
So Naked Gun, it was actually more profitable than Beetlejuice.
Actually, that lineup was
that
awesome.
Surprised me.
That was a dope lineup.
Yeah. It's just it's a cult classic. That's all it is right now.
It is a cult classic, and I don't think that the audience is large enough to warrant a Beetlejuice 2. I mean, even when I hearing about it, I'm like, that sounds all right, but I'm not excited. I don't give a fuck.
When I think about Beetlejuice, I think more of the Nicktoon than I think of the movie.
Right.
And that's not saying, Beetlejuice was the year I was born. It came out in 88, so I couldn't possibly have watched it. I watched it later when I was older, but I still didn't get it. I didn't know that the two people in the house were originally dead.
Right.
It was, but one thing I could give it credit to, one thing I do like about it is the costume
and practical
design.
Sets.
Oh my goodness.
Costumes and practical sets.
Dude, they really went out of their way for that. I do like the movie, but it's just to warrant a second sequel 27 years later, that is just one of those desperate. It just sounds desperate to me and extremely desperate.
Right, just that's a name they're throwing out. And I feel like maybe this Beetlejuice 2 rumor was kind of similar to how Ryan Reynolds threw out the Deadpool fake that little
the
trailer,
little bait,
trying to see what the response would be online before they start making any moves to go forward.
Yeah,
but I don't see anybody wanting to see Beetlejuice 2.
No,
and I don't think the way that film works nowadays.
Yeah,
we don't use practical sets nearly as much. We're dealing with more computer generated stuff.
Yeah,
I can imagine them trying to recreate that dirty fucking grimy ass Beetlejuice. It wouldn't translate because we are so digital now. Everything would be so clean and crisp.
People will wonder why it was so cheaply made.
Right.
That's what they'll think.
Right.
But you don't misinterpret practicality for it being inexpensive.
Right.
Practical sets are extremely expensive. They have remember they had that miniature set alongside it. What was it, like Beetlejuice's homeland? And it was all mini set.
Yeah.
That was just amazing to see.
And that's something you don't really get anymore because apparently it's pricier now. I don't know, but it's much easier to just get, 200, 300 computer generator, operator, animator guys, and have them just digitally alter the fuck out of a film. Have them film, they probably won't even use the same characters or actors. And
Baldwin,
they'll keep Beetlejuice obviously, but they won't have the same actors. Because Michael Keaton, right?
Michael Keaton,
they're not going to keep Michael Keaton. They're not going to have the original cast. And if they do have let's say they do get Michael Keaton and he's back, and they get him all in the makeup and the costume, they're going to have him on a CG background. And he's going to act out entire scenes with nobody physically present, and it's not going to be the same.
And it's a big difference, too. Actors do react differently with that.
Oh, hell yeah.
With that, it brings me to my next point. Excuse me. Avril Lavigne is back making music.
Finally. It's the best news I've gotten all day.
The question is, like, when did she ever make music, is my question. Like, in the days of TRL, music videos ran amok. And if you had a good music video and it became popular, it would go on TRL. The song didn't have to be good.
No.
If your music video triumphed over the actual quality of the song,
right,
it would be cool. Like,
yeah, if you had a pretty face and you had an awesome music video,
yeah,
you're good. That's all you need. That's all the TRL.
I didn't think I would utter
about.
the name Avril Lavigne in 2016, and she's tweeted on she posted a thing saying she's back making music on it. So I was like, just write out, she's probably living off Skater Boy residuals. Let her do that. Like, why do you need to keep doing? What
else? What are you going to sing about?
Skater Boy 2, like
2 Skater Boys, not 1, 2. Just to choose between each Skater Boy. Dude, one's more aggressive and hardcore, and the other one's more clean cut.
She tried to wear a white, like a muscle shirt and a tie. And that was her thing. I never got that.
She was a striking rebellious figure.
He was a skater boy. She said to you later, boy.
Mm-hmm.
How do you write that? How do you write that and be like, yo, print it?
That's artistry at its highest caliber. I don't understand. What's your quarrel with Avril Lavigne? That name outright tells you that she's unique and she's different. She's empowering. I feel so good.
It sounds like a WWE diva. Avril Lavigne from the top rope. Avril Lavigne with the steel chair. Like, that sounds like a WWE diva instead of an artist.
I feel like you're not supposed to say her name backwards or something horrible could happen.
Don't look in the mirror and say Avril Lavigne's name backwards, or else Candyman will show up.
Candyman will show up highly disappointed in your decision.
He'll slap you and he's like, don't waste my time.
Don't waste my time and leave the CD.
By the way, to say Avril Lavigne backwards is physically impossible. Captain America Civil War's new trailer came out.
Oh,
featuring Spider-Man.
And
force fit or appropriately placed?
Force fit jizz factor. Like, they're really trying to get people in.
Yeah.
And I think, remember we spoke on one of these podcasts we recently did, I feel like Hollywood kind of realized they jumped the gun. Like, we planned way too far ahead. Like,
because they have to account for they didn't account for the Fantastic Four bomb, and they're not going to account for this Gambit bomb.
No.
Channing Tatum as Gambit?
No.
But anyway, let's go back to where we're talking about. It's just Spider-Man in that shot is all CGI.
He's all CGI, and it just, like, when I saw him, I was like, fucking, why? I was kind of upset.
Yeah.
I was excited. I'm like, okay, cool, he's in, because there was so much talk. There were so many talks about him being in the film. They wanted him in the film.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was just fan service.
Yep.
Like he wasn't supposed to be in the script. They're going to, like, ham-fist him in there.
Yeah.
Tuck him in the corner. He's just going to be CG in the back of all the shots, not saying shit.
He's going to be all chipped in the background.
Eating a hot dog or whatever the fuck. Like, and I don't feel like this wasn't a decision made.
Yeah.
I guess with the studio kind of preparing for it. Like, it seems like a lot of people were getting in their ear and they were kind of reacting to the fans and going, okay, we got to please the fans because this is where all our money's going to be.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like they realized, we have too many films in the works and they're probably already sick of them. They're they're annoyed already.
Because they're already spoiling it to themselves. Like, oh, we're going to make this and that, and this is going to happen.
Like, the excitement of what's to come is completely taken away. Because you gave us the whole fucking cheat sheet of every movie that's about to come out.
Yeah. What if he unmasked himself and it's Tobey Maguire?
It's Tobey. He's back.
I personally enjoyed Andrew Garfield as the second iteration of the Spider-Man. I liked him.
Really?
Yes, I did.
Just the films themselves were bad.
No, the first one was action packed and good. The second one with Electro was you can't force feed that many villains, give them an origin, and expect it to actually like hold weight.
No,
because then they had Rhino at the end.
Yeah,
how do you have three? You can't.
Bloated,
there's no space for 3 villains in any movie. I don't care how long it is.
And
it would have to be 4 hours long for 3 villains. And that's why they probably didn't go with the Sinister Six, because they were supposed to go with the Sinister Six.
Yeah, they baited that, thing. But the way they set it up was terrible, and that's why they stopped and rebooted it.
Yeah,
but nobody. Okay, first of all, him being in the Avengers, we have no clue what type of Spider-Man we're going to get.
Yep. Like, that is just a fresh. He is the first. That is going to be the first time you're going to see him.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time he's. That is the first time you're going to see him, and that's the first time you're going to utter a line.
Right.
So from there, you have to base, any of his personality is going to be based solely on Civil War.
Yeah, and I'm not even hyped about Civil War, to be honest, man.
I am. So someone has to die. It's either Bucky or Captain America's going to have to die.
Captain America, on the comics, he gets sniped, son. But I don't know.
Oh, he gets sniped by crossbones.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
So I know it might be amazing. I don't know.
I'm excited for it.
I try not to get hyped for these things because if I get too hyped, then just all my expectations. Yeah, get
I got super hyped for Age of Ultron. Like I thought Ultron was so cool as a villain, but then it was just like,
meh.
Like Quicksilver. Oh no, well, spoilers, but whatever. It's 2 years ago.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah, Quicksilver dies, and it's just. I was like, oh, and I was like, as soon as he died, I was like, oh, that's the guy from Kick-Ass. Oh.
As soon as you realize.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. So I think Spider-Man is going to be like just pasted in the background. I honestly think that it's just going to be like that one scene is going to be it. I think that is just the bait and switch that they're going to give the audience.
Thanks, Spidey. Yeah, you only get one, and he's out of there.
He does a Family Guy rip.
Webs out and keeps the shield.
All right. So we'll save a more Marvel stuff for another day. We like slowly peppering the Marvel stuff in. So I don't know if you guys enjoy iced teas, enjoy your coffees. I don't know whatever the hell else you put fucking sugar on, but artificial sweeteners are fatal to you. I don't care what they are. I don't care if they're Splenda, sweet and low, big and high, low and tasty, whatever. I don't care what artificial sweetener it is. Artificial sweeteners are potentially fatal to you. It is. There was a news report saying that it has links to cancer, which I knew for a little bit. I was using Splenda. I was using sweet and low. Like every time I would order an iced tea, but now,
man,
no. Yeah, I know.
God damn it!
Yeah,
why?
And
well, I mean, why? If you don't mind me asking,
I thought sugar was they made sugar seem so bad.
The natural source sugar,
exactly. That's what the flip was. Like the whole.
You're eating that stuff that comes from the plants.
You eat this. No, don't eat sugar. Okay, I'll turn to this. Science. I'll turn this. No, don't eat that. What the hell am I supposed to eat?
Don't eat anything. Just starve. It's healthier.
Eat non-soy. That they're just gonna come up with something.
Virgin non-soy, gluten-free,
gluten-free, non-GMO, soy, non-soy, low-fat whipped, 1% dairy latte,
low-fat, half-fat, low-fat,
half-fat.
It's just this big-ass equation of words and science.
Meat-free ribs from Blammo, from the guys who brought you sock and boppers, Bako. Powdered bacon? You imagine that? You just powder a line on the frying pan, and it's like all like meat free. No, air free. Like there's gonna be a report. Like we just want to play on this topic that Splenda is potentially fatal. But
Splenda is absolutely fatal.
But it's getting to the point now where like the more processed food that they're gonna make, we're all gonna come back full circle and start planting stuff in the backyard.
Oh, absolutely.
It's gonna have to be to that point because.
We've gotten so artificial with our food.
A Hot Pocket. Like
what is it?
Like it's you. There's just things that just anything processed is just not good for you, man. And
I wish I had more facts because I just happened to have a conversation with someone not too long ago about artificial sweeteners.
Yeah,
and what she was telling me is like artificial sweeteners were actually designed like by a completely different country around World War II.
Yeah,
and it was to supplement like a lack of something that they didn't have, but it was supposed to be used
temporarily.
Yeah, and it's not supposed to be digested. Like this stuff, it has certain ingredients and materials that shouldn't go in the human body.
Oh man!
And it was actually used to season things, but you weren't supposed to use them as a source of food. You know what I mean? Like to preserve. It was used as a preservative, but is not a way to be it's not supposed to be consumed.
Yeah.
I wish I had more facts and more details because I feel like I'm just rambling on about nothing. No. But the reality is, this was designed a long time ago. Yeah, around World War II or World War I. I forgot. One of the world wars. One of them fucking wars.
Probably the Civil War. Spider-Man ate it and died. That's how he died in the Civil War. Ate a bunch of sweeteners.
But I know it was designed scientific. Everything that's in it is completely fake, and I don't understand how someone gets convinced that an artificial sweetener is better than a real life natural sweetener. Yeah. Now, I mean, there is bad sugar out there, but that's why you go for pure cane. You go for more organic food in the first place. Go to like somewhere like Viva La Vegan out in Rancho Cucamonga or fucking Trader Joe's and get the good shit. Yeah. Don't get that terrible for your heart sugar that kills you slowly every single day you use it.
Yes.
Or just go sugar free, but you know, I'm pretty sure somebody's butt cheeks clenched just now saying that.
Yeah, like soda to me is still one of my vices. Like Dr. you know, like me and Dr. Pepper, we go a long way back.
I'm almost completely sugar free now.
Yeah.
Almost.
How do you feel?
Fucking great, man. Like my health is better than it's ever been.
Nice. I'm gonna have to start, but that's right after this Dr. Pepper. Okay, so this is this next segment, and we're gonna try to paint it for you as best as possible. I have a Instagram photo story. Now, the person that I found this photo on was completely anonymous, but this photo stems this subject that I'm going to talk about. Andre, do we live in a world where it is so technologically centric that it actually controls our life?
Absolutely.
So you think so completely?
Yeah.
You don't think it just merely assists?
No, I personally feel like we've gotten to the point. I believe I tweeted this a couple of days ago, but I was just saying like we grew up in the perfect era.
Yeah.
If you were born in the 1980s, you grew up in the perfect time because we got to see the dawn of technology.
Yeah.
The start of technology, like really start to bloom, computers, internet, technology, all that.
Yeah.
And now we're going to get to the point where we get to see it destroy us because we use it as a crutch for everything. It's not entirely bad because look, we won't be able to we're communicating with the world right now.
Yep.
Whoever's listening, we're communicating with you as we through the internet, which is a useful device. And we're sharing our opinions. We're all having a good time. And there are people out there right now that might agree with what we're discussing or they might disagree. But now we have our opinion heard.
Yeah.
That wasn't possible in 1930.
No, I would have to send you a letter to come hang out with me. And then we'd have to write a big a manifesto and then send that, make several copies and do it like that. It's definitely easier. But I think that we do... technology is expanding at an accelerated rate. That is true.
Right.
But I think it merely assists us.
You think so?
Yes.
I mean, okay. When's the last time we've been out, like at a public outing? Like, remember how we used to hang out at like the press or something like that, right? And it was super cool because we can interact with people.
Yeah.
If you were to go to the press right now, at this very moment, everyone's on their cell
phones. Yes.
Like no one's
the bartender's on his phone.
Bartender's on his phone. He's like emailing.
I have to email him my drink. If I got it, that's what he told me.
I have to go to the kiosk. I have to type in like what I want drink wise.
He points at a sign, beer to be served upon email request only. When it comes to that point, when you can't even have a conversation with your bartender, that's when it's done.
I feel like we're getting there, though. I mean, we barely use physical money now.
Yeah.
Everything's with card. I'm sorry, I'm not want to go in this massive rant, but I'm just saying, I feel like if anybody's seen the film WALL-E, I feel like we are slowly progressing towards that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Where we don't have to, I feel like at one point we're going to be like, just chilling. We don't have to do shit. And technology will do all of the work for you. Because if you look at these kids today, like I told you we were chilling earlier, like I don't even see kids play with toys. There's kids with tablets. Everybody's playing with
there's
virtual,
no action figures.
Yeah,
anymore.
Everyone's like playing games on devices.
Yeah,
and it's useful. It is definitely useful, and I do think it helps us because there's a lot of places that I get help with technology that pushes me forward.
Yeah,
I make music, and making music is easier than it ever could be because thanks to technology. But I feel like there are certain tools out there that musicians don't even have to play right, and it'll like automatically put chords in. No, so you just look at the fucking screen and it'll put chords in for you. So I don't know. I feel like I'm at that point where I feel like technology is taking over. But you think it's a crutch or it's just a tool?
Yeah, I think it merely assists us. And
how? I mean, I don't think it's that simple.
Oh, I know. It's just, but I want to keep it basic just for the sake of. But when you go into details and stuff, your claim will definitely outweigh mine. But you can't look at technology as merely. There's tons of people out there that don't look at it 100% like technology is going to be the thing to help us with everyday things. But it has like the Amish. that's my counter. No,
okay. With science, though, I mean, science. If you've noticed, there have been so many recent discoveries in this year alone that have just shattered all information that we've taken before because they keep discovering new things based on new technology.
Yeah.
3D printing, we're making 3D printed cars, 3D printed homes. Like, it's getting crazy. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm just leaning towards that. It's going to take us over, dude.
Yeah, I think so too. And inevitably it will.
Right.
There's going to be there's going to have to be a time where we either are with it or against it.
Yeah.
And that's when Skynet comes around. Oh yeah, that's when Sarah Connor comes knocking on your door and just come with me. I'm like, all right, you kind of look like Linda Hamilton. I think I'm gonna go with you. And then I go and I meet robotic Arnold Schwarzenegger. I was like, okay, I think I know what's going on here.
I know what to do.
Yeah. So, but this photo was this rant was derived from this photo that someone posted saying that the photo, it was basically a photo of a black and white photo of a ballroom, and everyone was dressed in suits and they were all smiling. And then the person went on to assume that based on that photo that the times were better, people respected their elders, and children didn't suck like they do now. Well, I think that was complete crap. I think that was more of a rant, and that's based on like bias from pre-existing childhood things. Probably had to be. But I mean, you do not know how good. You don't know how good it was because you weren't physically there, and if you're uneducated in the subject, you're basically going on assumptions alone.
Right.
And
it looked more like a professional gala type of event.
Yeah,
so.
where people of and I'll even go into that, like her race, like her ethnicity, won't even be allowed in that place. Like anyone that was Latino, anyone that was black, Italian,
Asian,
they weren't allowed in those kind of settings, especially in the 1930s. Segregation was running amok, even at East Coast, West Coast, any which way. But
they might have looked happy.
Yes, exactly. But it's just for people to. She probably didn't see the waiters. The waiters were probably, I don't want to go into that, but she probably didn't see the waiters in that photo.
But I guess for her to assume that even like there were no children present in the picture at all.
Yes,
she assumed,
and she just grabbed it like the children suck too. She just sounded like an old woman ranting.
An old woman losing her shit. And,
yes.
Okay, yeah, those times definitely were different, but who can really state that those times were better?
You couldn't grab footage. You
can't grab footage, and if you were to go back in time, use a time machine and go back to that period, this person would have been attacked and ridiculed and treated differently because she would have acted outside of the characteristics of that time and be noticed instantly. Exactly. I mean, she has a mentality that's very multicultured. She was very multicultural minded, and then her assuming that in the 1930s they still maintain this multicultural aspect of living, which is false. It's not even true.
You have to heat up your water. Like just of that alone will probably just set people back to not wish that was a better time. It wasn't a better time, as if the lesson of the day. No time is better than the time that you're existing in, because there's no other time that you're going to be existing at.
You're here now.
You're here now. Enjoy the time you're in.
Oh, Matt, wish to be in
and make the most of it.
Times. Yeah, make the most of where you are right now. It's beautiful to be where we're at a perfect time right now. Why would you ask for any more?
Andre, I recently watched this documentary. And this documentary, I rewatched, as a matter of fact. I watched it a couple of years ago myself. I want you to take a look at it. I know you're probably going to give me feedback on it next week. Who killed the electric car? I think it was Who Killed the Electric Vehicle.
Was it from the makers of Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Who killed the electric? It's a whodunit. This electric car gets stabbed, and it's up to Detective Frank Drebin to find out who did it. No, basically it was based on the time that General Motors disabled and recalled one of their first electric vehicles, the Saturn EV1. Made from 1990, I think it was 1990 to 1996. About 1,600 of them were made. They were lease only. And what basically ended up happening was that when the lease was up, they had to give the car back, and they followed the trace of that car. And then the cars were going to Arizona and got demolished.
Fuck.
Yes. So in the early 90s, the electric car movement that we are so used to today was non-existent. it was you were like GM was pressured by the petroleum companies to not sell these cars. We even had electric cars in the 1900s.
What?
Mm-hmm. There was a in the beginning they show you a lady that actually remembers using an electric car. Keep in mind this is early 2000s, so it was definitely possible for her to actually attest to it. Mm-hmm. So, but it just shows you that what a stranglehold the petroleum company had, and what we're doing now, because now we have electric cars. Like
our nation, it rests on the foundation of using gasoline
and crude oil, baby.
Yeah,
crude oil.
If you take that away, I feel like these companies. Well, first of all, no company wants to lose a massive amount of money. No company wants to lose, and if they have a way to stop it, they'll do whatever it takes. So yeah, for them to have a competitor. Yeah. You know, for them they monopolize petroleum monopolize whatever. Sorry, gas monopolizes everything.
Yes.
So to have a competitor out of nowhere, you got to destroy it at all costs.
Yeah.
Because you're not trying to lose money ever, especially if you're such a gigantic conglomerate. Why would you have, if you have a way to stop your competition from growing, then fucking abort that shit. And that sounds like what they did.
I mean, it's funny. It's funny too that we mentioned the electric car, because I myself was driving an electric car for a couple of days until I realized it wasn't for me. But to have the day in technology that we're at with Tesla, having a vehicle that can go over 250 miles on one charge, versus the car that I had, which only gave me 80 miles on a single charge, goes to show you that the companies that the company like Nissan, Toyota, they all are being held at the teat of these gas companies for incentives. It goes to show you, because you can make a battery big enough to surround that whole car to make it go 250, 300 plus miles.
Right.
And that's way more than enough than the average American commutes on a daily.
And I don't know. I don't understand. Why can't we all just have a balance here? Because, I know about the Tesla, and I'm very interested in the Tesla. It's completely electric, and that thing, it doesn't even have an engine. There's it's completely electric.
Yeah.
You have a trunk in the front and the back. Yeah. It's an incredible car. It's unbelievable. And I don't know. There's so much flack against this vehicle, and I don't get it. I don't see why we can't find a perfect balance.
People that are uneducated definitely look at the vehicle and say, "Oh, it's not for me. What if I have to go to somewhere on an emergency?" Well, they're naming all these things that
they haven't even experienced yet.
But I can tell you that driving an electric car does feel great. I mean, it's dead quiet. It picks up in a hurry because that electric current. Mm-hmm. It goes extreme. It goes at it just goes as fast as it can go.
Right.
And dude, there was times where I was just taking off, man. That little car that I had can go, but
he's going off ramps.
But Who Killed the Electric Vehicle is one you should watch. If you need the link, I'll show you. But I want you to give us some recap on that.
I'm down.
Just a general synopsis on that.
I love a good documentary, man. So I'm in.
Oh yeah, dude, it was really good. Did you ever see that documentary Food Inc.?
You know what? I think I did, but I was really drunk.
Oh wow. So that wasn't helping you at all. Dude, they showed the nitty gritty of processing plants, and in order to make a McNugget, you have to use they shred the chicken up
to nothing.
I hope no one's eating, but this chicken gets
some
steamed.
Dude with chicken nuggets currently in his mouth.
Get boiled to peel the feathers off.
Yeah.
Then they get executed. Their head gets chopped off if they survive the boiling.
Right.
But it's just crazy what they have to go through.
Down to nothing. It's a full animal, and then it's just nothing.
Yeah, just
the process of
just
how
chicken meat confetti. Yes,
I mean the process in which how they to create hot dogs. Oh my god!
Remember when
I have not eaten a hot dog in 4 or 5 years. I can't eat hot dogs anymore because I know the process.
So much sodium, and it's just parts.
Oh my god!
It's all the pig.
It's just organs.
Yes.
Compiled into a nice little package.
Even if you go all beef, I mean, all beef hot dogs are no different.
No,
you're just it's pick your poison when it comes to hot dogs.
Fucking no, no, thank you. I'm a practicing vegetarian due to the just
2 hot dogs, hot dude. I was so desperate in Central Park when I went to New York. I was just like, I gotta get something to eat. Hot dogs. All right, give me one. Dude, it was never get a hot dog on a cold day in New York.
In New York, especially.
So now we're going into this next topic here. It's Conspiracy Corner. Just like in, I wish I had the intro to Unsolved Mysteries. Remember? Do, 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 do. That movie, that whole show was tight. I loved Unsolved Mysteries. The Egyptian pyramids, one of the last of the 8 wonders of the world. The last. Actually, the 7 wonders of the world. One of the last. The very last. Has lasted, every single one of the 7 wonders has outlasted all of them. Do you think that the pyramids in Egypt were constructed all with human technology? And I personally think it wasn't. I think the way you transport those blocks, each of them averaging about 2 to 5 tons, taking them 500 miles from where the quarry that they had to be mined at, with what? What are you going to roll them with? Palm trees?
No, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah,
I see where you're going with this. Dinosaurs. They use T-Rexes.
That's something I didn't oversee. Well, that ends that. Perfect.
All right, let's move on. Dinosaurs, man.
The tools that they had, I mean, they didn't have iron yet.
No, it's fascinating because if you look at the accuracy and the preciseness of each cut and how they've developed everything, as far as the pyramids are concerned, I really can't say. And I do, there's a lot of conspiracies out there. It's so baffling in history as a whole that I really don't know where to pinpoint because I've heard so much information about it. But I really fuck it, aliens. Just, had to have been. It had to. I don't know any other way you could develop these massive monuments. These and they're fucking graves.
Yeah.
How disrespectful. People died in the process of making your grave. And it's unbelievable. They still stand to this day.
Yes. And
there's no natural occurrence that can alter.
The funny thing is too is at one point it was all smooth. Remember they were coated with limestone at one point until they needed the limestone. For the factors that I've stated, it's just
2-ton blocks,
2 to 5 tons each one of those things, and to bring them up higher and higher as you go,
right?
It just baffles me. It's just they were saying that they built a long ramp that went alongside the pyramid, but to build that ramp is more of a feat than those pyramids. It's like, hey, look at this nice looking pyramid, but look at that ramp. That ramp's huge.
Even then, how are you moving 2 to 5 tons up at this massive angle and think it's like skyscraper height? You can't do it. If one guy loses his balance, the whole thing comes down.
Whoops!
A banana peel. But I don't understand how. Okay, let's say, all right. It's man-made. All right, they managed to create these miraculous tools.
Yeah.
It still doesn't explain the perfection and the accuracy of how these blocks are placed.
Which they both, all 3 of those pyramids do match up perfectly with Orion's belt.
Right, perfectly.
And there's too many other factors.
Too many other factors.
They are almost parallel directly with longitude and latitude. They haven't sank less than 2 inches their whole time. This is talking 5,000 years.
Right.
And they took 20 years to build. You know how long it took? They started doing the World Trade Center in the late 1970s. They started the construction on it, and they barely got finished in the 90s.
Right. And I get it.
It's like there's 2 towers versus 1 building versus 1 pyramid.
Right.
I want those construction workers from that time to come and build our skyscrapers because they do it at a quicker rate and they weren't union. It would love that. Everyone would love that. Hey, these guys aren't union. They don't know English.
Oh, get them.
Bring them over.
I don't know. There are a lot of. I guess if you could use so many other.
Anyone speak hieroglyph? Get a translator. You have to etch the hieroglyphs to the guys. All these Egyptians over here taking our jobs. Like you just imagine, it just starts like South Park with the time travel guys. Never time travel Egyptian slave laborers from the Pharaoh times. Let that be a lesson to you.
To you time travelers out there.
Yeah, to you tycoons out there that want to build skyscrapers.
I guess my biggest focus when it comes to these monuments are the accuracy.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't have rulers and devices that we use today to make perfect buildings.
Yeah.
They somehow managed to create these massive, and I'm talking about everything involved with Egypt. is
you're talking about the Sphinxes and
it's perfection.
Yeah,
it's absolute perfection, and it doesn't make sense without the tools that we use today. But please excuse my ignorance for all those out there that are well versed in Egyptian mythology.
Me and Andre both, like I said, we're not well versed, but we can just go from what we know.
Right. And to my observation, it's not possible. Human error has to happen.
For them to outlast 5,000 years of desert erosion,
right,
is amazing to me by itself.
Right.
When I don't know if you've ever seen After Earth or After Man. Mm-hmm. They did one on Las Vegas. Las Vegas shares the same qualities as as Egypt. What? Desert landscape, same climate.
Yeah, I got you.
But in a course of 500 years, everything would basically be eroded, and like it would just look like crap. Versus these pyramids,
they haven't been touched.
They're just I mean, granted, they're still, I would say, a little scarred from weather, but they're still standing nonetheless.
Maintenance free for over 2,000 years.
I guarantee it. Like, you imagine an ancient Bob Vila. Yeah, these things will last you about 5,000 years. You don't have to worry about it. You just man.
Well, okay. My biggest thing is, all right. So these were created by slaves, right?
Yeah, according to a manuscript.
According to the text.
Yes.
You don't mean to tell me not one slave was like, fuck these guys, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to carve a dick on this. Like, nothing. It's perfection.
Yeah.
So I don't understand if maybe there was some type of, I don't know, elevated consciousness that took place.
Either that or anti-gravity. That would be the only thing.
The portal gun, the motherfuckers.
I know. Well, it has to be something. It's just, for these blocks, and for it's just a lot of, there's a lot more, I'll tell you this, that they carry there's enough material in there to make over 20 Empire State Buildings.
Fuck.
I don't know the exact number, but it's over 20. Over 20 Empire State Buildings are in that one Great Pyramid alone. Like that means it's so dense and it's heavy.
Right.
It's just stacked up that high, and it took 20 years.
I want to see blueprints.
Yeah.
The Egyptian.
I want to see tablets.
I want to see that.
Yeah, but it's just,
I want to see the slabs.
It just goes to show you that this mystery we're still talking about it to this day, and we don't know.
And I feel like there's some people that do know, and they just honestly can't share it. Maybe it's just unfathomable. Like it's something that's just a little beyond our understanding. Yeah. Because remember, a lot of the technology and the devices that we use today were borrowed or modified from Egyptian technology and concepts.
Yep.
So, Egypt has been miles ahead of its time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, maybe they just had some type of genius tool, or maybe we're looking at how the development of the pyramids themselves wrong, like how they were structured to begin with. Maybe they did. I heard one theory where an individual stated that it's actually that they started with the top brick, or the top layer, and then they stacked a certain kind of way to make it rise.
Whoa.
So they started with the first block, and then they added the bottom layer, and then they added until they got to that height that they have.
Yeah, but then the weight of that
they explained that, like, the way the sand is, they had to go underground first, and then do this process like really straight, like Tetris style. And I don't know. But the guy actually broke it down. I wish I could get the video for you. Mm-hmm. He had broke it down, and he showed like how it could be possible. They would start with the first block, but it'd have to be underground.
Yeah.
And then they'd add the next layer, then add the next layer, and then through the process, it even out perfectly.
But then you're dealing with a trench that's more impressive than the
like all these.
Itself.
Something is unbelievable, though.
Yeah.
There's no way to observe this happening without some unbelievable miracle fate taking place.
And it kind of sucks because you're taking away from the majesty that is the pyramid.
Right.
And it sucks, but it's still, like, if we had the answer, then we wouldn't have to be talking about it, and then we just stand in awe of the Great Pyramid.
But it's like that magic trick that nobody knows about. Like, nobody knows how.
David Copperfield's like, these fools don't know. I went back in time, and I made this thing.
It was me! Rubbing his hands together all devious.
Oh, man.
But I don't know, man. I think, first of all, I love Egypt. I wish I was more versed in the culture and the history of Egypt, but goddamn, it's fantastic.
No, it is. It's there was a bunch of I remember finding a bunch of documentaries about it, a bunch of ancient astronaut theories and stuff, and that's where predominantly I get all the info from, which could leave me with a little bit of a bias. Mm-hmm. But I went on my own and studied it too. It's just the if you study the ancient Egyptian pyramids, without any, without the ancient alien crap or anything. If you just do it by itself at its core and just look at it with the brass tacks, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Because you go to appreciate, the majesty that it is, instead of being like, oh, well, who made it? No, don't worry about it yet. It's just maybe there's just going to be a time where we will find out. But
it's something all simple.
I know. Hey, there's a couple. You ever heard of Lincoln Logs? Like, yeah, same thing.
No, it's inflatable. You blow into it, then it gets hard over time.
It's a balloon.
It's
Imagine some dude gets a pin to it. It's like a balloon the whole time. It was like a weighted balloon. What type of?
It's the bottom two layers that are heavy, and everything else is inflatable.
No one else. Don't go to the top. Whatever you do, there's a little pull tab that blows out. Oh man, but I do enjoy still learning about it. You learn something new every day when you talk about it. But let's go into the segment that we're going to be spending the most time on, because you and I do have a lot of yap to say about these. To you, would you want to take a break first and then we'll go to it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so tell you what, I'm going to take a break here. Once again, this podcast is brought to you by Game Swappers. Game Swappers, buy, sell, and trade your retro games. Current gen consoles, Xbox One, PS4. You can come in contact with Game Swappers by following them on Instagram at GAMESWAPPERS. That's GAMESWAPPERS. Game Swappers, buy, sell, and trade. We're going to follow this with a quick instrumental and take a quick break, but we'll be back with the Mark and Andre show. Stay tuned. And we're back. So, Andre, I wanted to get back with you on this subject that I wanted. I wanted to get back. Oh, you're deaf. I wanted to get back with this subject here. Like, as you know, I'm very savvy in the 80s and 90s sci-fi and action movie scene. I do enjoy watching a good action flick and a sci-fi movie. And this is a subject that we covered with a bunch of other people like back in the day. But since we have a podcast and we can actually bring it to the attention of everyone on the internet, let's do this. What 80s and 90s sci-fi action movies have become timeless to you? Like, you can
sci-fi and action? Or
sci-fi and action. But it's like, it's a movie that... and I do that because it's just, I like doing a broad range. That way we can tackle multiple areas.
Fucking weird. It's either sci-fi or action. Pick it, dog.
Yeah, I could just imagine some guy saying that. Because what movie can you watch that is sci-fi or action that is like, you know what, I can watch it today, I can watch it 10 years from now, and I can watch it 20 years from now, and it won't be as dated as movies that are, that are like worse, that are worse out because they can be dated.
Howard the Duck.
Oh my god.
No, Warriors of Virtue. Warriors of Virtue.
Warriors of Virtue. Dungeons and Dragons. Double Dragon. You're just gonna
the Dragon Within. No,
I'm not talking about shitty movies here. I'm not talking about movies that have become timeless because there's no time to watch them.
No, okay, I got it though. I actually seriously
fuck that movie, man. Fuck
you said action. All right, so it's
let me hold on. There's one thing I wanted to talk about. In one scene in Double Dragon, Billy Lee gets kicked behind in an arcade, and then he gets kicked back to the arcade cabinet that's Double Dragon.
Yeah,
dude, the universe should have, if he could have come in contact with that,
exploded on contact.
The movie would have been over. Like based on matter occupying the same space. That was bullshit, man.
It would have formed a black hole, and then both credits from the movie and the video game would have scrolled at the same time.
Because the power that they use is the power of the Double Dragon, and they knew that this guy didn't turn around to see that arcade cabinet. Jesus. Okay, sorry about the tangent, guys, but it's something that needed to be pointed out. So, what movie do you have that you wanted to share?
Damn, I have a couple. We can do a list.
Yeah, me and you can go back and forth. We're going to spend most of this is going to be the dominated part of the the show here, so that's why I wanted to spend more time with it.
Okay, cool. Without a doubt, fucking Wheels on Meals.
Meals on Wheels?
No, it's Wheels on Meals or Meals on. No, it's Meals on Wheels. It's backwards on purpose. It's a Jackie Chan film, 1980. A lot of people haven't seen this movie, most likely, but Jesus Christ, this is possibly the best Jackie Chan you can get. This is prior to him coming to America. So if you were to find a copy of Wheels on Meals, it's going to be dubbed in English.
Yeah,
and the dub is shitty, but it's fine because the action is something that for its time was impossible, unbelievable shit. It was him, Sammo Hung. If anybody knows who Sammo Hung is, Sammo Hung is the fat Jackie Chan that inspired Jackie Chan. He's a comedic martial arts actor, right? Who's also a comedian.
Yeah.
And he was really legendary for his period of time because he's this fat dude that can do front flips off of walls and do all this Tony Jaa style shit. Yeah. But he's fat. He's overweight. But he was a martial arts master.
What's it about?
Wheels on Meals, basically it's these guys that own a restaurant that's called Wheels on Meals, or Meals on Wheels. And it's basically just roll up to parks, and it's like this elaborate ass truck that makes no sense, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle van or whatever. But it's it's comprised of this crazy ass restaurant. Yeah. It's amazing. So they just drive all over the place. So they encounter this chick who happens to be a master thief.
Yeah.
And she's in trouble with a bunch of dudes. And in typical Jackie Chan fashion, he doesn't want to be involved in her bullshit, but these guys want to kill her. So he protects her, and the movie continues from there.
I do nothing. I
don't want to fight.
I don't want to fight.
I don't want no trouble. And they're beating him. Get him! But, it is possibly the best choreography I've seen from Jackie.
Yeah.
Because it's him, Sammo Hung, who fights just as good as he does.
Good.
And he's his friend. And this other dude, I don't know who he is. I'm sorry, I don't know his name. But he was equally as versed in the Kung Fu, son.
Yeah.
So there's amazing chase scenes. It's amazing stunt work in general. Yeah. There's a scene where Jackie's riding around on a skateboard, doing stunts and delivering food at the same time.
Oh, that is awesome. That's kind of like Mr. Nice Guy.
Right. Like he did a front flip onto his skateboard to pass food to people.
In a single shot without stunts, right?
Without dummies.
Yeah, without
CG.
dummies. Yeah, because he used to wear fake sneakers, right?
Yeah, he still did. But in this film, it's because he's younger.
Yeah.
He's in his prime.
Better Jackie.
So he was more of a parkour guy and a comedian. So the stuff that he was pulling off in this film was unbelievable. And it has one of the most remarkable fight scenes I've seen. And it's him and this world-class kickboxer guy. And it's the most realistic-looking fight that I've seen.
Yeah.
There's a point where he's fighting this guy. There's no special cuts or any tricks. he's fighting the dude, and the dude roundhouse kicks him so quickly that there was a set of candles behind him.
Yeah.
He kicked all the candles out. Like
the lights?
No, like
the flame?
The flame of the candles, his kick was so fast that it blew all the flames out.
That is bad.
And it was all in one good solid take, man. I wish I gotta show it to you. I'm gonna bring this to you, man. This movie is unbelievable.
We'll probably have to watch it after.
Yeah, so nobody else even understands or relates. But if you guys have not seen Meals on Wheels or Wheels on Meals, I forget. It's one
Meals on Wheels or Wheels on Meals or
Jackie Chan, man.
Jackie Chan movie.
Fantastic film. You guys will not be disappointed if you check that out. What about you?
I like, and this is one I recently watched because of the passing of Alan Rickman. Die Hard, the first Die Hard.
Oh man,
dude. That movie, the consistency of the movie, where like you see McClane actually could progress up this level of the building.
It's like a video game.
And he starts with clothes.
Yeah.
And he little by little just loses his shoes, loses his shirt. I mean, and then Alan Rickman, rest in peace, Alan Rickman. But dude, Alan Rickman was a perfect villain.
He was such a classy villain.
Dude, the plot to it was amazing, and how they heisted it was super realistic. It's like, that is I'm not trying to give advice on the bank robberies or the heist, but that's a practical way that you hold something up, like a big building like that with one security guard.
Right.
You just block the entry point, close that gate, and shoot the guy in the front, and then lock the back, lock the front.
And I mean, I think the other following ones got more and more unrealistic. This was the most grounded action film that was amazing.
Yeah,
it's one guy, and the odds are completely against him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially when he lost his shoes, bro. Like,
you gotta walk through the glass.
Like, oh my god, that's intense.
Yeah,
for some reason that
you feel that.
You feel that. And then we were in the period of time where everything was practical. Mm-hmm. We didn't have a lot of digital effects.
Yeah,
so the movie really relied on its physical events. So when the glass broke and he has no shoes, he's fucked.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to die. He's got to live, man. So there's a lot of moments, very intense, engaging moments. It's the most you feel engaged in the story.
Yeah.
Plus, you feel for McClane, and he's trying to rescue his wife. Trying to help everyone, but he wants to rescue his wife primarily.
Yeah.
And you feel it, man. Like, you feel that intensity.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh man, he's so close. Oh, motherfucker.
And then this is where Reginald Vell Johnson shows up as a cop. But for guys who don't know who Reginald Vell Johnson is, he is
oh shit!
He is Carl Winslow.
He's Carl Winslow
from Family Matters.
He's literally still Carl Winslow.
And Carl Winslow is a cop. Mm-hmm. But this time it's in L.A. and, you know, he's Chicago based over in Family Matters. But that was just a funny thing. It was just like, wow, okay, Uncle Carl Winslow shows up.
Were you about to say Uncle Phil?
I was about to call him Uncle Carl. Yeah. Well,
he comes into the Fresh Prince for one episode in a cop outfit. Uncle Carl. But definitely like that. Yeah, that's a fucking good one, asshole.
The action sequences in it, to me, are just second to none. It's like when he wraps himself with that fire hydrant.
Oh
hose.
My god,
dude! I was just like, oh, that's a bad idea. That can either break your back. That looks bad.
Dies in the process of being heroic.
The next one I wanted to bring to the attention of the audience is Predator.
Oh man,
Predator to me is the movie that you need to see if you call yourself an action movie buff. Mm-hmm. That, I mean, I know there's going to be other movies, but this is to me. But you can't, I mean, I'm going to sound like Mac from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but the star power alone in Predator. You had Carl Weathers, Schwarzenegger, Ventura.
Ace Ventura?
I know. Ventura. Well, alrighty then.
Somebody stop me. It's
the mask. They're trying to stop the invisible camouflage mask. Predator is full of classic lines. This movie barely had dialogue.
Barely had classic imagery alone too. Like, don't forget,
dude, the locations.
Imagery, man.
It was just, you set this up. It was all bullshit. All of it. Or who can forget Arnold's classic line when he's inside raiding the interior cabin. He sees someone. He senses someone behind him. He gets his Bowie knife, and this Bowie knife's about 2 feet long. Oh no, about a foot long. He flings it at the guy. It goes through his stomach and connects the board, and he's all like, "Stick around." Dude, as Arnold's walking away, there should have been an extended cut where, like, this guy's like, "Oh shit," that was. painful, but that was extremely clever.
That was clever.
I want him to come back so I can let him know how clever it was.
I want to shake his hand.
This movie has brought the most iconic line from this movie has brought the most iconic line in Arnold Schwarzenegger history. Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. No.
That is the only thing Arnold needs to say for the rest of his life besides I'll be back.
I remember do it now. Do it.
Oh yeah, come on, kill me.
Kill me. Do it.
I'm right here. And Predator's supposed to be smart in battle, but for him to sense that, actually I kind of liked because I didn't want him to fall for that trap.
Right.
But for
our master hunters,
dude,
like, come on, don't fucking.
For me, I remember explaining the plot, and it's just Predator is the ultimate hunter. Wherever he senses excessive amounts of heat or conflict, he'll go to that planet, and he'll go to where this is happening, and he'll see that there's a bunch of people that are actually really good at what they do, and he'll hunt them all. He'll hunt them, skin them, take their spine and their skull out, and keep it. This guy is ruthless, dude. This guy is like Predator himself. Well, his species
a badass.
Is a badass. Dreads and everything.
Had the had the Milli Vanillis, man.
Dude, and for Carl Weathers and Bill Duke to have that one scene at the end where he's all, the one scene near the climax where he's all like, hey, maybe Schwarzenegger was all like, you won't win. He's like, yeah, but maybe I can get even. Carl Weathers knew that he was gonna die.
And he didn't give up. One thing I didn't realize...
He didn't care.
I didn't realize that it was such an action flick outright.
Yeah.
I kind of, when it first came out, assumed that it was an Aliens competitor. I thought it was a competitor to Alien.
Yeah.
So I never saw I didn't watch the first Predator outright. I have seen the film.
Yeah.
But I saw Predators 2.
Yeah.
Before I saw Predator 1. And they're two different films.
Well, Danny Glover.
Danny Glover's the Danny Glover film has a totally different tone and feel in comparison to Predator 1. Predator is an action flick, and I didn't know. I thought it was more of a horror themed type of thing. But then watching Predator, I was like, "What the fuck? Why did I not watch this movie?"
The movie is awesome.
Too many pencils. Fucking
Dylan, dude. It's just. This is the perfect time too because it was a lot older Schwarzenegger. This is him 8 years after Conan the Barbarian. And because his acting was very, very bad in Conan, but I liked it anyway.
It's legendary regardless.
Yes. But one thing you can appreciate is Jesse Ventura. Like the whole lineup itself. Less dialogue. There's no dialogue whatsoever. Barely dialogue.
And the score in the film had to keep everything moving.
Yeah, and it did.
And usually 80s film scores are shitty, dude. With those like half-assed
It was intense, bro.
Those dumbass drones. I'm sorry, I'm a music guy, so like when I watch old 80s films, I listen to the soundtracks and they have those dumb drones and all that shit. But this was actually done very well. It didn't sound or look like crap. This is a phenomenal film and it was ahead of its time in my opinion.
For people that haven't watched Predator, I suggest you do it now after the podcast. Come on. No.
I'm right here. I'm terrible.
I'm right here. That's what the movie's saying to them.
I'm currently present. But I have no Arnold accent.
I'm currently present. Remember in that movie Predator where Arnold said, "Oh, I'm currently present." That would not be better than do it now. Come on, I'm currently present right here. Oh, jeez.
Let's see. I have Hard Boiled, man.
Hard Boiled.
Hard Boiled was
Chow Yun-Fat.
Chow Yun-Fat when he was because it seems like John Woo finds a homie and he just sticks with him. And this was the John Woo Fat years. And Hard Boiled is the most. I think this is the best John Woo you could have got during that period of time.
It is without argument the most action-packed movie ever made. The most
action-packed movie ever made.
Yep.
That is not an overstatement, because it is an overstatement, but I don't care.
Yeah.
I really enjoy... First of all, you get a slow... pacing was different back then. So, around this period of time, we had a slow ramp up, and then once the shit hits the fan, it never stops. And in typical John Woo fashion, you got 6 shooters shooting for 300 rounds. We've got... We've got
slow-mo.
We've got dual-wielding weapons. There's a scene where Chow Yun-fat is literally sliding down the edge of a staircase, shooting 2 weapons at a guy. First of all, the dude was shot the first bullet he blasted at him up at the top of the stairs. But he decided, no, I'm going to go all the way down the stairs and shoot every round that I have available to kill this guy. And throughout the film, the pacing just takes off completely. Yeah. We have action scene after action scene, and then it just climaxes with this massive, never-ending hospital scene with long takes and everything, and it's incredible. There are even moments, because I always laugh and joke, like, this fucker's just shooting anybody. Yeah. He's going to kill somebody that he's working with, right? Yeah. There's a scene where one of the guys accidentally shoots one of his own people. He shoot and
was that part of the take?
It was part of the take. It was supposed to happen. So he's shooting a bunch of guys and he ends up shooting a cop. Oh. And they're in an elevator. It's a long take. Yeah. They're in an elevator and Chow Yun-fat's character tells the guy that he has a partner and they're killing everybody. Oh. He goes, I know you killed one of our guys. I've done it before. Fuck it. Let's just keep going. That's really what happens.
Wow.
He just goes, look, I saw you shoot that cop. Don't worry about it. Get your head straight. Fuck it.
Yeah.
And the dude's like, I killed the cop. He's like, no, you didn't. I killed the cop. No, you didn't. Funny. And he slaps him. And then once that happens, this is all happening in the elevator. Once the elevator opens up again, they're back at just massacring everyone. Long takes. These are the longest takes that John Woo has done. I'm talking full-fledged 2 to 3 minute action scenes of nonstop shooting.
That warehouse scene took a long time too. They're in that warehouse.
And what, Hard Boil?
Yeah.
Or Hard Target?
No, Hard Boiled. No, we're talking. Remember?
Oh yeah, he always has a warehouse. Yeah, you're right. But yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. Fuck,
dude.
There's so much.
But the hospital scene too within itself is great.
Because what does he do? He has to save babies.
Yes. Is it the hospital blowing up?
The hospital's on fire.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. Okay.
And he has to get because it's in the where the children are.
Yeah.
So he has to get these children and and jump out of the window tied to once again a fire hose or something. Yeah. And he's bringing children down to the ground while he's also fighting his his master iconic bad guy. Yeah. So of course, in typical John Woo fashion, we have a back-to-back against the same wall scene. Yeah. And they're talking to each other. And then we have a scene where they both turn around and they're shooting at each other while running side by side. And then they get to the very end and they both don't have bullets.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but
you interrupted me, man.
Did they both? Was there at one point where they had the face-off back-to-back scene?
Yes, they did. That was the back-to-back scene.
I love that signature. That's like John Woo's signature.
That's John Woo's signature, and I think that's the first time it happened. You know what I mean? So it started with that back-to-back. In Face Off, it was more stylistic because they both turned around and they looked into a mirror.
Yeah,
that was fantastic.
But you have to that attributes to the storyline more.
Yeah, that's great imagery.
That was good.
This was just raw.
Yeah.
You know, in the 80s, they don't have all this technology, so everything was practical. Yep. All the explosions were real. Some guys fucked up parts. Mm-hmm. You know, some of the squibs didn't go off on time, so they're shooting a dude and then they fire 2 rounds and one squib goes off. Yeah. Who cares? It's bomb. It was amazing. Yeah. So I can't go any further on it because it's just one of his best.
If you guys haven't seen Hard Boiled, I'm glad to have a copy of it myself. It is it's probably going to be one of the best action movies you will ever see
in your life.
Yeah, you won't find any more firepower in another movie. You probably would find it in like a war movie in the war scenes, but we're talking action throughout, non-stop. Personal jinx. I'm just kidding. Shit. Imagine we do that and I'd make you not say anything the rest of the show. No, but another good movie from John Woo, The Killer.
Oh, fuck.
Did you ever see The Killer?
You know, I have The Killer and I started it, but I'm spoiled.
Dude.
I got spoiled by Hard Boiled.
It is sad.
Spoiled by Hard Boiled, the boy. No, I'm sorry.
It is super sad.
That's more story driven, correct?
Exactly. It is. Because John Woo plays, Chow Yun-fat plays this guy who shoots this chick and doesn't shoot the chick, but he shoots some guy like a cop. But the girl was so close to the flash of the gun that she became blind.
Oh,
yeah, and then Chow Yun-fat feels so bad because she still tries to make money doing doing performances. That he goes there every night
and gives her a crap load of money.
Yeah,
right?
And dude, it is sad because there's times because she falls in love with 2 of the opposed. Chow Yun-fat falls in love with him, and she falls in love with the detective that is trying to hunt down John Woo. And oh man, at the climax of the movie. I won't spoil anything, but Chow Yun-fat and someone else, they have to go outside of this church to try to make it because they both they both have to.
Chow Yun-fat dies. You spoiled it.
No, I didn't.
Is he gay?
He comes out.
Does he
comes out of the church and comes out again.
He comes out.
Harder boiled. This is a movie that your mother didn't want you to watch. Cocked and loaded.
Hard boy.
Hard boiled. I remember, I was watching the Game Chasers, and they did I'm sorry to go really off topic, but I was watching the Game Chasers, and they were talking about, I guess 8-Bit Eric and the Game Chasers were on a traveling for games, and this guy, I guess some guy was talking about, I think Jay was talking about Buffalo, and then I think 8-Bit Eric said, "Yeah, you could Buffalo me." Buffalo me.
What the fuck?
Yeah, get it? Oh man. Okay, next movie. To me, these series of movies are going to stand alone, and they're going to be the talk of conversation for many years to come. They're still relevant to this day. We still talk about them. I am a big fan of the movie trilogy myself. Back to the Future.
Oh, you faggot! That was mine.
Yeah.
Sorry to call you faggot. Homo.
Yeah, you gotta be PC.
To be more PC, man.
Yeah. Anyway, Back to the Future to me is the whole from 1, 2, and 3. Mm-hmm. 3.
There was no 3.
Yeah. Okay.
3 was the Dragon Ball GT of the series.
Yeah. But 1 and 2 were really. What I really appreciate is they actually were consistent with the laws of time travel.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know. When it comes to those two, I feel like they really perfect. They wrote them in a way like I feel like they determined, halfway through, there's going to be a sequel. Like they knew.
Yeah.
No, because it's just they went together so perfectly. None conflicted the other.
Yeah.
I don't care about the third one. The third one just didn't. I don't know. It just didn't work for me. But in regards to the first two, I mean, they just work together so well, and they transition perfectly as well. The transition from the first to the second was phenomenal. I mean,
consistency is definitely there.
Yeah, the action is nonstop. I mean, despite them having to refilm the entirety of the last scene of the first movie, I watched them both side by side because me and my girl were doing a little
very
marathon.
Similar.
No, they perfectly got it shot by shot. It looks great.
Yeah,
like the only difference is, I mean, advancements of technology, things looked a lot better.
Yeah,
but we had happened to finish the first one.
Yeah,
and then we started the second one immediately after and realized, wait, what the hell? Oh, they changed the actress. They had to reshoot it. So we went back and we, thanks to the advances of modern technology.
The more you know.
We just put two videos side by side and we watched them both. And the timing of all the beats and everything is perfect.
You're talking about the sequence of the ending of the first one.
Yeah, the ending of the first, get in the fucking car, you son of a bitch!
Because McFly's girl changes.
Yeah, because they had to change the actress.
Part 2 she was hot.
Yeah,
the part 2 hot. The part 2 Back to the Future chick.
When you watch them side by side, I mean, the beats are perfect. The zoom,
it's so seamless that I couldn't tell.
That's exactly what happened. We're like, wait a minute, something seems a little bit different, and we look back and realize, oh, that's a different actress.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the small details. But in general, just the way the film was written and a lot of other subtle shit. That whole film is a masterpiece. The first one specifically, it's just outright a masterpiece. And I can't go into the details. It's just that there's so much consciously that goes on, and there's a lot of subconscious stuff that's going on.
Yeah, I know where you're going at.
But it's one of the most, it comes off as a kid's film, right? Mm-hmm. But it's actually one of the most deeply written films in modern cinema. But I'm not going to go into that detail. I'm just saying,
tons of symbolism,
and just in general, the excitement and the fun of it. I mean, it's like 5 movies in one if a lot of people pay attention.
Yeah.
But in general, the basic film that we see, the core film that you get, is phenomenal.
I like Christopher Lloyd's archetype. The wise old man.
The wise old man.
I think what he does. He actually, because Marty is us going through this whole adventure. We are Marty McFly in this movie, especially if we're a male as well.
Right.
But it's universal. If you think about it, if you change, if a girl perceives themselves as Marty, that's perfect because they're unknown to the adventure that awaits them.
Exactly.
And for what ends up going on is like. You are able to be savvy in time travel because of this movie. Mm-hmm. You just, and this is super general, and I want to say it, but you can watch Back to the Future and be more educated coming out of the theater or coming, after the movie's done, you'll be more educated in time travel than you ever were beforehand.
Absolutely.
And the second one takes the cake because then you're talking about alternative timelines.
You're talking about alternative timelines. You're talking about the future, man.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the way they depicted the future was phenomenal because it's hilarious. A lot of the stuff that you see is here. I mean, they might have misstepped on a couple of ideas or concepts that they expected to take place. Like, they thought, like, Laserdiscs would be the new CD.
No, it's funny that you mentioned that, too. But there's a scene in the beginning of number 2 where Doc places Marty's chick on top of a pallet of crushed Laserdiscs.
Yeah.
So that's funny. I thought, I was like, okay, they're all getting rid of all the Laserdiscs. They're probably going to get rid of the ones I have here.
They're coming to you specifically?
Yeah, I have too many.
They're, the 3D advertising, the
Jaws 19, they got reboots, right?
They got reboots.
And multiple sequels.
The hoverboard is officially real. I mean, we're seeing...
No, not the hoverboard with 2 wheels.
No, not that one. Fuck that.
Oh, okay.
No, there's actual, there's this one, it just got kickstarted. And it's
from Lexus, isn't it?
No, it's a new.
Because I know Lexus came out with.
No, like this one's legit. Like,
oh, yeah.
It's powered by miniature jet.
Like nice.
And
vaporize the ground.
It circulates the air that's around you.
Okay.
So it can get you about 2-3 feet off the floor. And you can control it, move forward and backward and everything because it uses the same accelerometers that we're using with these other hoverboards. So you lean forward a little bit and you move forward.
It'll adjust accordingly.
The only thing is, at the moment, you can only ride the shit for 15 minutes.
Because of the fuel?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't operate on fuel.
What is it?
It operates on battery. So it operates on battery, and it absorbs all the air around it, and it uses the air, it circulates it in a certain kind of way, and it powers those jets to hold you up.
Are we talking about lithium-ion battery?
I honestly don't know. But it's enough to power it for a certain amount of time.
Imagine 15 AA's or 18 C batteries. Those C batteries are really heavy.
But still...
Dude,
I'm just imagining opening the bottom and then having to put each individual battery in.
Speaking of robotics, I mean, that reminds me of the time. Did you ever have a MyPal?
Mm-mm.
I had a MyPal too. I had oh man, dude, that thing took mad batteries, but it knew a lot. It was fun.
Sorry to go damage. So yeah, Back to the Future. Let's just keep it simple. It's an overall amazing adventure, and it's very educational if you pay attention. It's very fun. It's one of the most fun films I've enjoyed as a kid. I enjoyed it for one specific reason, and then I enjoyed it even more as an adult for other specific reasons. It's just a great story that was told well, directed well, and I thought, man, it doesn't get better than this. And sadly, we don't see shit like this anymore.
Nope. It's to make this kind of movie, to make another movie like this will be a direct copy of it because you can't even stem off of it a little bit. No. That's why Zemeckis doesn't want to reboot it.
No,
and I do not think Zemeckis should not reboot.
Don't reboot this shit,
please. Because this movie, speaking of time, it lasts the test of it.
Right.
Because now, even in the second one, 2015, you could still look at this movie and say, "Oh yeah, well this isn't 2015," but you can even take that, you can even take that sequence where they go further into the future, as in something even further.
Right.
Sub some things out, and you're fine.
Right.
This movie itself, even despite the fact that it has that really that loophole about that. Well, not the loophole, but the inconsistency about the almanac, where live events.
It can't continue the same exact way.
Sporting events can't happen the same exact way.
Especially, you can't... Even if you determine, these are going to be the outcomes of all these games, based on the fact that you're betting and winning consistently on these games, it's going to garner enough attention to affect the outcome of the game. It's not going to be exact points.
And I'm even talking about the choices that people the choices that people make on the field of sports.
Yeah,
because you go, when you play sports, you go off of a whim.
Right.
And to educate the audiences, I'm talking about when Biff makes bets on sporting events based on him stealing the almanac from Marty, is that I don't think that these events, the sporting events that he bets on, will be conclusive.
No.
I don't think that they would be, because the fact of the matter is maybe what if you made, it's all about choices, and then you start another timeline, and then that opens up another can of worms.
Exactly. So to expect the points to end exactly the same way every single game.
Yeah,
it's impossible.
because that one scene where he actually like tells the present Marty, I mean the present Biff at that time, hey, look, I bet you $20 UNC wins or whatever.
Yeah.
And then right at that moment they won it.
Right.
Like
that's bullshit. Because he created a conglomerate out from the from the money he got from the bet. So obviously the outcome of reality is completely different.
Yeah.
But hey, it's fine. The point is they use that to create this conflict.
Yeah, and that's solid too. Still, like that for you not to get that intricate as far as time travel goes, you're able to take that as validity,
right?
Because that does make sense,
right. It does make sense, and it's for a general audience. So
yes, exactly. So you don't want to
talking
go
about people that would watch Interstellar. You know what I mean? Like, so you have to compromise, and I think he compromised very well. Nobody gave a fuck. They went, he took the almanac and he bet on it, and he won every time. Fine, move on.
He became this era's Donald Trump.
Wait, what happened? He tried to go back to his original home, right? Marty tried to go back to his original home.
Yeah, he tried to go back to Hill Valley.
He was like, get out of San Bernardino! It was just San Bernardino?
That's what happened.
Get out of my house, nigga! And then he chased him out with a bat.
Yeah. It was some black dude's house. Oh, man.
Don't touch my funyuns.
Oh, yeah, because he goes into his bed and then someone's laying in it, right?
Hey, what the fuck? And then he shows up with a bat. Get out of my house, sucker! Because the slang was still the same, so it was fine. But I remember
the third one.
The third one didn't.
So at the end of the second, Marty comes back
That's all you, buddy.
He comes back, and then the guy pulls up. He's like, "Are you Marty McFly?" Oh, at the end of the second.
Yeah,
remember?
yeah.
I was told to come here at this exact moment of time at this, and I thought that was really good. I was like, "Oh man, this is the trilogy, and this is gonna finish great." Okay, now it turns out there's another DeLorean that Doc hid in a cave.
And it didn't corrode.
Yeah.
No one discovered
didn't age.
The parts worked. They still perfectly work fine.
Yeah. And then at the end where they have to come up with enough fuel to actually get the train to 88 miles an hour. The hoverboard was still working. Oh man, there was a bunch of things I was just... And then Hill Valley's all okay at the end of it. You cannot do that. Like, you are altering the past.
I don't know, man. I think it was sequelitis, man. It's like...
It needed to be concluded,
well, no, because
that was a cliffhanger.
They couldn't go further into the future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I understand they had to go further back, and they wanted to start with the origins of... what's the city's name?
Hill Valley.
Hill Valley. And I get it. You know, it's really interesting, and that was a really good concept, but just taking the cowboy route... It wasn't as exciting and interesting.
Westerns, to me, at this time... I mean, Westerns nowadays, there's barely any Westerns. The last good Western I remember is 310 to Yuma, the reboot of 310 to Yuma.
Was actually phenomenal.
I mean, there's no... Like, you can't... That's the sad thing to say is that the Western is a dead genre. Mm-hmm. The only reason why is because... What was the last Western movie that came out that I saw?
Would you call Django a Western?
No, Django even... I'd have to call it
a Southern. It was a Southern.
It was a Southern. a Southie. The last, I mean, Cowboys and Aliens. But then you're delving into sci-fi.
Right.
And
that was just outright ridiculous. Yeah. It kind of just shit on the genre itself.
Yeah, it was funny because they were supposed to come out multiple movies after that, but
seriously.
Yeah, but it didn't pan out.
And then Seth MacFarlane tried to do 100 Ways to Die or A Million Ways to Die.
Yeah, and that was
I heard that was just a disaster.
It's tasteless.
I heard and shit jokes and all that other stuff. So I don't know. Maybe the Western is dead unless someone like John Woo. No, I'm just playing.
Well, because
someone brings it back with some flair.
Watch when after 20 years after all these superhero movies. Mm-hmm. Like 50 years from now, we're going to be talking about, the superhero movies are dead. Like, you can't do superhero movies anymore.
Right.
Because now at this point, I mean, I hate to get back on this, but it's just, we're flooding the market.
We are
every single month for the next couple years, or every 3 months,
every couple of hours.
Every couple of hours, there's going to be a YouTube release of a superhero movie.
They're going to come out in the same, pace as comic books did.
Jeez.
I'm really afraid of...
The only thing you can X out is the sequel to Fantastic Four that was supposed to come out. I mean, they had everything going for it. Michael B. Jordan and whoever the hell else.
The dude.
But that's all I saw.
The dude from Whiplash as
yeah.
Mr. Fantastic.
Dude, I can't relate to the Fantastic Four at all.
You know what? The problem with Fantastic Four is that they don't know what to do with it because it's not fucking fun. Every iteration of Fantastic Four that exists as far as cartoons, films. If you've watched the old Fantastic Four cartoon, it is the funniest thing I've ever seen because it's so shitty.
The acting's bad.
It is so... Voice acting's bad, animation's bad. It's just shitty. You can't make Fantastic Four interesting because it's not a group of witty guys and friends.
Yeah.
You're not going to have that fun flair that you get from Deadpool. You're not going to get that intensity that you get from X-Men.
Yeah.
It's fun. I'm not a comic book nerd, but I just understand storytelling.
Yeah.
And Fantastic Four doesn't have shit. Mm-hmm. The only thing that makes them interesting is if they had like Doom. Doom is fucking awesome and he's hilarious. Mm-hmm. Doom is hilarious.
Dr. Doom is...
May the applause continue for an hour. And the first person to stop clapping will be executed. Fuck!
Oh, yeah, I remember
Oh my god!
Oh, I like how the rapper MF Doom based his character on that. He used the 60s audios to tell his story. And Food, oh man, hilarious.
No, because he's the worst villain. Like, Doom is a son of a bitch.
Yeah,
anyway, there's nothing exciting about the Fantastic Four themselves. The best description for Fantastic Four is... Like, they're so... justice.
Can you predict the next Marvel bomb besides Gambit? Because I think Gambit is going to bomb. I think... Because Channing Tatum as Gambit.
And Gambit's one of my favorite X-Men characters, and I'm very afraid.
Yes.
But Channing is a phenomenal actor, but I'm very afraid he can't do the Gambit thing.
I think that's out of his range.
Let's see. What are the upcoming Marvel films?
They have... you're going to have the next Guardians of the Galaxy. That's going to come out next year. You're going to... Let's look it up. Yeah, heck yeah. Let's see. So, Phase 3...
We got Civil War, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Thor. We got
Avengers. Thor Ragnarok or whatever it's called.
I'm just not on the Thor thing, man.
Really? Dude, Thor is one of the best.
Thor is a god, and that's he has the Superman complex. It's like he's really actually unfuckwittable. And you have to make up reasons why he's not. Like, you have to find ways to make him lose.
Dude, I like the Thor series of movies. The comics, yes, I can relate to, like, this is just a mythical tale in comic.
They're gonna fuck up Doctor Strange.
Yep.
They're going to fuck up Doctor Strange big time.
Was that Benedict Cumberbatch is going to be him, right?
And I love Benedict, man. Pause.
You love Benedict.
A Benedict. A Benedict, and when I come, her batch will... Stupid. But anyway, like, I think...
I love Benedict.
It's... maybe... No, actually, Captain Marvel. They'll fuck up Captain Marvel first.
Captain Marvel. Or no. So I'm thinking Doctor Strange isn't going to tie off well because there's not a lot of people savvy in Doctor Strange.
Well, Doctor Strange is unfuckwittable in the comic universe.
Yeah. Let me see what else
you can't fuck with Doctor Strange.
You
can't fuck with Captain Marvel, but I just don't think there's enough to keep people entertained.
The Inhumans might be something that might not take off. After that, everything else looks good. Black Panther's going to be good. Ant-Man and the Wasp are... Yeah, Ant-Man and Wasp. Excuse me, because Wasp showed up in the end of the first one.
And Marvel and the Pussycat Dolls. I think that might do a little well.
Marvel versus X-Men versus Superman
versus Street Fighter.
When are they going to make another Mortal Kombat? You know what? This one
is already good.
This is going to go to the last question of the night, and we're going to try to see if we can go.
Fuck, we can go back
to. We can really go back to back. No, this is fine because this is how we roll. And to all the live listeners, I give you so much props. I mean, Friday night, 10, 11 at night, you guys are awesome. Thanks. I do appreciate you guys listening in. Is there any games you would like to see as a live action movie? Me, myself, I want to see a good Castlevania movie, but that has to be directed by Universal. Yeah, Universal has to have the rights to this because they have the rights to Dracula.
And they know how to do Dracula stuff. But my fear for the Castlevania film is that they would make it darker than they need to.
Yeah.
Whereas Castlevania is actually an intense action genre.
Yep.
So I feel like they'd have to go full-fledged, like, crazy action, but they might underworld that shit.
Oh, jeez.
You know what I mean?
For me to have... I'm thinking right now, for someone to star in this film, you need someone... Like, you need a rugged guy with... You know, it's going to be long black hair, rugged dude to play Simon Belmont. Mm. I'm thinking, like... Benicio del Toro. I'm thinking the guy from Deuce Bigelow. Remember the guy from The Mummy? The guy who played the Magi dude? I forget his name.
You heard like Rob Schneider?
Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider. Schneider.
Listen to me. I'm Simon Belmont. He's coming down. Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you that Arnold Arnold's not confirmed, but he's meeting up with the director of Predator 4.
No!
Yes, man. Dutch is back. He's
Wait, you said Predator 4?
Well, the fourth Predator movie, because they already had Predator, Predator 2, Predators with Adrian Brody, and then they're gonna have this one. But anyway, but so Castlevania they have to do right. I think, you know what, for Simon Belmont to traverse Transylvania and to get to Dracula at the end, there has to be a romance involved. I know that it's going to be like, oh, Dracula took my girl.
Took my girl, and I got to get her back.
Well, yeah, it's not going to be about the Belmont family, because that's always what took Castlevania the series to next games. It's always the Belmont family. He's doing it because the Belmonts have always slain Dracula every 100 years. Mm-hmm. But I personally think that it has to be a love romance in it, because it's going to be a summer movie.
Oh, absolutely,
dude. You have
the whip would be super iconic. They would have to use. My issue is that they could fuck this up.
Yep.
I'm just thinking of Max Payne and how much I fucking cried when I left the theater. What have you done?
Marky Mark does the does the backflip with the shotgun. When I saw that in slow mo, I was like,
shittiest. Oh my god!
Wasn't that the most action packed part? And that
was the only action packed part. And then everything else was just say hi to your mother for me. Like, just a bunch of bullshit. Nothing happened.
They better not Shyamalan this shit.
Yeah, Max
Payne. I have a feeling that Universal's going to be like, from Universal Pictures brings you the most action-packed movie from M. Night Shyamalan. I'm like, fuck this. No! I'm done. I'm out. Like, as soon I don't care what movie it is, I'm just taking whoever I brought with me, I'm taking them out. You know, if it's you, I'm like, let's get the hell out of here. I want my money back. This trailer sucked. Hence, this movie sucked. The movie I'm going to watch is not related to Castlevania.
Fuck. All right. So, what video game? Any video game that I can have translated into...
Yeah, and you're going to have to name at least the protagonist, and you need to have an actor tagged to it.
Fuck, because I was going to say Twisted Metal.
Oh, wow.
Twisted Metal, son. Sweet Tooth.
But
No. Okay, Twisted Metal Black, right? I'm using Twisted Metal Black as my foundation.
Okay.
Twisted Metal Black, you probably haven't played it. It's probably the most thorough story-wise out of all of the Twisted Metals, and I can see a film coming out of that.
Yeah.
Because, Sweet Tooth, first of all, every person involved in the Twisted Metal tournament is insane, so they'd have to run this shit kind of like Mad Max style. You know what I mean? So it'd have to be just this never-ending driving road trip of a mad, action scene. Mm-hmm. Everything's exploding. People are dying. It's going to be chaos throughout. I think it'd be perfect. I mean, and every single character's backstory is so fucking deranged. Every character, especially in Twisted Metal Black, because they went for that very serious tone. The other ones are almost a little cartoonish.
Yeah.
But Twisted Metal Black went straight forward. And Sweet Tooth was fucking insane.
Yeah.
Axel was torturing himself due to the death of his wife. We've got... I forgot. Oh, girl, she drives a motorcycle, but she wears a mask due to the fact that her friend died and she couldn't help her. So she went into a deep depression and started wearing the mask so she can eternally look young. And every last one of them has this fucking sick goal. And the villain isn't Sweet Tooth. The villain is actually Calypso. Calypso is the one that's throwing the Twisted Metal tournament. And what Calypso does is he goes to these psychos and he just says, hey, if you beat my Twisted tournament, I will give you whatever wish you want. I will grant whatever wish you want.
Because wasn't Callisto this, omnipotent being?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So this dude would just magically show up in these people's lives. And then he'd be like, look, if you join my fucked up tournament, then I'll give you whatever you want. In Twisted Metal Black, there's a cop, right?
Yeah.
And this cop is haunted by this scenario where he's a sniper. He's a pinpoint shooter.
Yeah.
Or sharpshooter, rather. And he's got his sights on this guy, right?
Yeah.
And... this little girl is present in this situation, and she ends up dying because he didn't act accordingly. Mm-hmm. So he goes insane, and he never he ends up in an insane asylum because he can't handle the fact that he fucked up. So in Twisted Metal Black, Calypso says, "All right, I'm coming to you. If you win my tournament, I'll give you a second chance. You can go back and redo it, right?" So in Twisted Metal Black, I beat the game as him. And Calypso goes, all right, cool, you get to go back. So he sends him back to that exact same scenario, and he's perfect. He's hitting all the guys that he needs to hit.
Yeah.
And there's one guy left And once he looks up at that one guy, the dude turns around and kills him.
Oh!
Perfect shot. Like, he turns around and shoots right where he is and pops dude in the eye and he dies. That's the end of the story.
Is every ending like that?
Every ending, nobody gets what they want. It's like this, you know...
It's like a Twilight Zone thing.
It's like making a deal with Lucifer. Lucifer's like, I'll give you your wish, but it's a fucked up wish in which you lose. So if we find a way to take the Twisted Metal Black story, or the Twisted Metal Black concept, and intertwine it with that Mad Max feel.
Oh yeah, I feel you on that.
That Mad Max never-ending barrage of chaos feel. Destroy cities, explosions.
Because that's
madness,
what you do.
That's what you do.
That's what you do.
And I'm not talking fucking Death Race.
Yeah.
I'm talking like straight up just chaos, explosions, and I don't need massive violence. You know, blood and guts. I'm just talking
explosions
and chaos. Metal
being flipped around.
Right. And I think you'll get a phenomenal film out of that.
I agree.
It might be one of those, summer blockbuster style. You don't really need much plot. You just know that all of these people get an impossible wish, and they're all fighting for it. And we get to see massive amounts of destruction. Because in Twisted Metal Black, like, if you're in, it depends on the city you're in. There's this one where there's a carnival going. Yeah. If you're shooting at your guys and you miss your missile or whatever, and you hit, like, there's a theme park. Yeah. If you hit the carousel explodes and goes off of the rail and just flies into a neighborhood and blows up the entire neighborhood. You know what I mean? I'm talking massive explosions and, like, destruction. I think that'd be really fucking cool. I'm not a destructive...
The guy from Mad Max would be the only one to do that. Yeah. Because the Mad Max Fury Road was almost all practical set.
It was
besides
crazy.
The tornado dust storm thing.
The tornado dust storm thing. Fuck. Oh, wait, no, that was actually practical too. The dude with the guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking attached by strings. Yeah. He's fucking bouncing back and forth. Mad Max was a great example of what you can do with practical sets and environments. They had one desert setting, I could tell. They had one desert setting, and they shot most of the film on that shit. And it was phenomenal. It was great. So I think if you get, it's not Guillermo del Toro. Oh wait, that's
Guillermo del Toro. No, it was. I think it was
Jehovah.
George, I was thinking George Romero. That's the guy from Night of the Living Dead. Oh man, because he's he doesn't do he does them sparingly. What was it?
I'm looking it up right now.
Okay.
For all you listeners out there.
Yeah, for all you listeners.
If anybody knows, just like shout it and we can hear it.
Yeah, we can hear it through the
we can hear
internet.
It through the
We'll be able to find it.
George Miller, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, so
because I thought I was thinking George Romero, but that's Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, if you George Romero, and George Miller,
Jamillo,
Jamiroquai, George Romero and George Miller get together
to do a Night of the Living
Mad Max.
Wow.
Max of the Living Dead.
Max of the Living Road.
Night of the Living Dead Max Edition.
Fury of the Max of the Living Dead. Of the Planet of the Apes. Just throw that in there too. All right, guys. Well, that concludes our podcast tonight. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, this podcast was brought to you by Game Swappers. Game Swappers. Buy, sell, and trade your retro games. Xbox One, PS4. Buy, sell, and trade. You can get them on You can hit them up on Instagram at GAMESWAPPERS. Once again, that's GAMESWAPPERS. Game Swappers. Buy, sell, and trade. Andre, I give you the floor to do some shameless self-promotion.
Shameless self-promotion time. Awesome. For all of you guys out there that are interested in hip-hop or creative writing in hip-hop, or just hip-hop in general, if you think that hip-hop is interesting and you'd like to learn a little more about it, I currently have a few beginner classes online in which you guys can check out. They currently are $50 a piece, but I'm giving out free coupons at the moment if you guys are interested. If you want to learn more about what I can teach you, you can check out Punzi Speaks on Facebook. You can check out Punzi Speaks on Twitter, Punzi Speaks on Instagram. If you guys DM me or message me, I'll give you all the information you need, and I can help you guys out. So at the moment, I'm just teaching basic concepts like counting your bars, understanding instrumentals, and how to understand flow, how to talk on beat, how to rap on beat, how to use your voice, how to write, and everything like that. And then down the road, I'll teach you guys more advanced techniques like multi-syllable rhyming, wordplay, metaphors, similes, homonyms, synonyms, like all these literary devices and poetic devices that you could use in regards to music. I've been doing this for over 12 years. So I have a lot of information to share. I'm 500 people strong. I have 500 students right now. Actually, total, I'm about 700 students. But if you guys are interested, feel free to hit me up. And yeah, thanks you guys for listening. It was really fun. My boy Mark can conclude the show.
All right, guys. You guys have a good night. Be safe out there. Andre, I want to thank you again. All right, guys. Have a good night. Be safe.